Call the meeting to order.
Nichols, Williams,
Here.
Lesh,
Yes.
Botts,
Yes.
Miller.
On the agenda, we have approval of minutes from October 28th, 2013, and this is the work session minutes. Move approval of those minutes.
Second.
Williams,
Yes.
Lesh,
Yes.
Botts,
Yes.
Next, we have minutes from October 28th, 2013, regular session.
I move for approval of the minutes from October 28th.
Second.
Williams,
Yes.
Lesh,
Yes.
Botts,
Yes.
Okay. Under old business this evening, we have Bill number 2013-76, an ordinance amending the code of the City of Mexico, Missouri, Chapter 7, Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Article 10, Schedules. This is up for second reading by title only and passage. Bruce?
Yes, Your Honor. The first reading of this ordinance was at the October 28th meeting. It is a request from Weber Pharmacy doing business as Jackson Street Drug for a single parking spot for limited time on the east side of Cole in front of the Jackson Street Drug. We determined that the request was reasonable and recommended the 15-minute parking time limit be designated, and we've had no additional comments, Council, since the first reading. Therefore, we would recommend Council proceed with the second reading by title only and passage of the attached ordinance.
I move for a second reading by title only.
Second.
Williams,
Yes.
Lesh,
Yes.
Botts,
Yes.
Bill number 2013-76, an ordinance amending the code of the City of Mexico, Missouri, Chapter 7, Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Article 10, Schedules. I move for passage of bill number 2013-76.
Second.
Williams,
Yes.
Lesh,
Yes.
Botts,
Yes.
Okay, under new business ordinance, we have Bill number 2013-80, an ordinance calling for and establishing filing dates for the municipal general election to be held in 2014 to fill 2 3-year terms on the Mexico, Missouri City Council. This is up for first reading by title only. Bruce?
Yes, Your Honor. As Council is aware, each year we do have municipal elections, and this ordinance would set the dates for the 2014 municipal general election and establish the time period for filing of candidacy. Statements of candidacy would be received by the clerk starting on Tuesday, December 17th, 2013, and run through Tuesday, January 21st, 2014, with the municipal general election date then being on Tuesday, April 8th, 2014. Therefore, in order to proceed with accepting of the statements of candidacies establishing the election, we'd recommend that council proceed with the first reading by title only of the attached ordinance.
I move for reading of bill number 2013-80 by title only.
Second.
Williams,
Yes.
Lesh,
Yes.
Botts,
Yes. Bill number 2013-80, an ordinance calling for and establishing the filing dates for the municipal general election to be held in 2014 to fill 2 3-year terms on the Mexico, Missouri City Council.
Okay, the next new business ordinance we have this evening is Bill number 2013-81, an ordinance amending the code of the City of Mexico, Missouri, Chapter 7, Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Article 10, Schedules. This is up for 2 readings by title only and passage. Bruce?
Yes, Your Honor. At the work session at the last meeting, we did have Brian Hafner here from the Missouri Department of Transportation indicating that we would be looking at some speed zones on Business 54 and South Clark specifically. And to cover the details of what's being proposed, I will turn to Kenzie Russell.
This ordinance specifically rescinds or repeals the current paragraph that sets speed limits on Business 54 and then reenacts a new speed limit for Business 54. specifically establishing 35 miles an hour from Boulevard to Lakeview, 40 miles an hour from Lakeview to the south side of Pearl Motors. They have a new entrance there that we refer to as Pearl Motors Drive. That's the way it's shown on their plat. And then reenacting the existing speed limits on the balance of Business 54. I'm sorry, from Pearl Motors on to Highway 54 would be 50 miles an hour. Then reenacting the existing speed limits on the rest of Business 54, which would be going east from Green Boulevard to Agriculture is 35, from Agriculture to Vanderveer Village is 35, and then west of, or east rather, of Vanderveer Village is 45 miles an hour. That just reenacts those as they stand. MoDOT had done a speed limit study on South Clark Street, or the south portion of the Business 54 loop, and these limits are in accord with what that study showed from them, from MoDOT.
Now, just a question, which one of those are changing, actual changes that's right? Are these all the same as they are today?
The, from Boulevard to Southmore, which is 1 block north of Lakeview, is currently 35 miles an hour. And so we're extending that 35 mile an hour speed zone 1 block south, from Southmore to Lakeview. And then the current limit essentially between Pearl Motors and Cunningham Drive is currently 55 miles an hour, and this would reduce that to 50. At Cunningham Road, or close there, today it reduces back to 50 before you get to the highway. So we have the situation where it goes from 40 to 55 and then back down to 50. This would just graduate those speed limits from 35 to 40 to 50 as you progress down the road.
I know my fellow councilman here, Councilman Williams, had raised some concerns about accidents in front of McDonald's, the number that was going on there, and they found no change for that area at all.
They did have some accident data that we looked at. They did not find that the accidents were speed related, so they weren't recommending a change in the speed limit. However, they did recommend that we take advantage of their traffic engineering assistance program, contact one of the pre-qualified consultants to do a traffic impact study of that development area that would include the McDonald's, it would include the ATC, the commercial area there. We have done that. We've made the contact with URS, who did the previous TEEP study for us and is one of the pre-qualified consultants, waiting on their return of an approved agreement from MoDOT that we can approve. That would all come back before the council and would have a scope to look at those impacts, look at all of the factors of traffic in and out, access, accidents, and propose alternatives there.
I'm sorry.
I have one question. I'm glad I was going to add. I had two, because one was going to be redoing that traffic study, so I'm glad to hear that. And two is, with the ambulance district building out there, is there going to be some kind of flashing yellow warning, ambulance, emergency vehicles coming out, or?
I am not aware that they have contacted MoDOT about installing a warning light at, I guess that would be Kelly Parkway, that they would probably come out. the ambulance district hasn't approached us, but being a MoDOT route, they may have approached MoDOT, though neither entity has mentioned anything to us about it.
Okay, thank you.
I have one other question. When does this go into effect?
According to the ordinance, it would go into effect immediately,
Immediately.
though we obviously would have to get the signage changed and put up.
Well, that leads me to another question. Who pays for that signage since it's MoDOT's?
It would be the city's signs.
So we can't dictate the speed limit, but we got to pay for it. Love it.
The way MoDOT urban agreements work, they kind of control the reins on the horse. So we're just along for the ride.
Thank you. I move for first reading bill number 2013-81 by title only.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Lush.
Yes.
Bott.
Yes.
Bill number 2013-81, an ordinance amending the code of the City of Mexico, Missouri, Chapter 7 Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Article 10 Schedules. I move for second reading on bill number 2013-81.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Lush.
Yes.
Bott.
Yes.
Bill number 2013-81, an ordinance amending the code of the City of Mexico, Missouri, Chapter 7 Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Article 10 Schedules. I move for passage of bill number 2013-81.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Lush.
Yes.
Bott.
Yes.
Under other business this evening, we have a number of staff reports. The first being the purchase of a compact utility tractor for the Parks and Recreations Department, park maintenance. Bruce?
Yes, Your Honor. As you mentioned, we do have a number of staff reports this evening for purchasing of vehicles and equipment. We are trying to move those through a little earlier in this fiscal year for a couple of different reasons. One is in order to get the equipment at the appropriate timing, in order to do the work that you have before you, as we look at dump trucks and so on for snow removal coming up and tractors. But secondly, also to take advantage of state bidding and pricing. And as we go through these, I think you'll note that that was somewhat successful as we look at the pricing on some of them. So, to cover the first one, I will turn to Chad Shoemaker.
Thank you. As you know, the annual budget allows $38,000 for the purchase of a compact utility tractor with 45 effective horsepower for the Parks Maintenance Department. Bid specs did include a factory cab, quick attach loader, and pallet forks. This tractor is going to replace two tractors that are currently in the system. They're both quite aged. Neither one of us has had a working hour meter since before I started here, which was 10 years ago. So the 1966 has obviously seen its best years. We sent out 16 vendors, and we placed ads in Mexico Ledger. Bids were received from 6 vendors, and Seidenstricker Implement Mexico submitted the lowest best bid, even giving preference to one of the local vendor. The 5% preference, they still had the lowest bid. So we are recommending that council approve the purchase of a John Deere 4520 compact tractor with cab, loader, and pallet forks from Seidenstricker Implement Mexico, Missouri for the price of $32,700.
It's good you had 6 bidders.
Yeah, I like 6 bids. Gives you good prices.
Okay, I move we accept the bid of Seidenstricker Implement John Deere 4520 compact for $32,700.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Lush.
Yes.
Bott.
Yes.
Next staff report, we have the purchase of patrol vehicle for the Department of Public Safety. Bruce?
Yes, Your Honor, and to cover the details on this one, we will turn to Chief Rocket.
The budget allows for $28,000 for the purchase of one car this year. This will be including the trade-in of the 2011 Chevy Impala with 65,000 miles and a temperamental ability to start. We sent the requests to this vendor list. The 2 big ones at the bottom were the ones who responded. Landmark Dodge and Brown Chevrolet. This is the Caprice that was offered from Don Brown, the 2014, and this is their next one. This one shows what they want to do for us. The car itself is $2,753 with all the equipment stuff that goes into it, the installation and trading in the old Impala for $5,800. Grand total $26,529, which is under the amount specified. The next bid was from Landmark Dodge, and this is the Dodge Charger, which is indeed a much sexier car, as you can see. And has virtually the same equipment in it, trading in the Impala for $35,000 and still coming out with $24,105.50, which is under our allowed amount.
So recommending the Dodge.
So we do recommend the Dodge, right? Mhm.
I move that we accept the bid from Landmark Dodge of Independence, Missouri for a Dodge Charger for $24,105.50.
Second.
Williams,
Yes.
Lush,
Yes.
Bratz.
Yes.
Next staff report we have is purchase a MEX TV video playback server for the Department of Parks and Recreation, Community Arts. Bruce?
Yes, we'll turn to Chad Shoemaker for the report on this one.
The $13,000 budgeted for the purchase of a video playback server for the Parks Arts Department will replace the current playback server for MEX TV. As you know, we've been working through all of the various hoops that we've had to jump through to keep MEX TV operating through the transition over to Charter and then fiber. And unfortunately, our current playback server is pretty much obsolete at this point, and it's only partially operational. So when we went out and looked for equipment for this, and Patrick did a land office work on this, went through lots and lots of different places, we kind of get painted into a corner in between the equipment that we have to mesh into with fiber and Charter and what's available out there on the market. There just simply isn't a lower end unit like what we used to use available for integrating into fiber at this point in time out there that we could find. So Telview Corporation is a large supplier of professional video telecasting equipment like TV stations use. We expect really good customer support with this unit, which we did not have with the old unit, which was provided by U.S. Cable. The long and short becomes is that Telview Corporation, their Hypercaster B100 playback server is the only piece of equipment we were able to find that met the specifications we laid out there that would actually do the job. It's a $13,875 piece of equipment. The extra money over budget is just simply a reflection of their pricing changed after we budgeted. We're at this time recommending that you approve the purchase of the Telview Hypercaster from Telview Corporation of Mount Laurel, New Jersey, for the bid price of $13,875.10.
If I only knew what that was.
I'm right behind you. Yeah.
What exactly is this used for? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. What exactly is it used for?
I was going to ask that question. I will ask it for you. What is that used for? And is this something that we
So when you
really
turn
gotta
on your
have?
TV channel on 994 or 128.18 and you see MEX TV,
I know.
well, if you do, there's a piece of equipment downstairs in Megan's office that's at the cable head. And we paste up all of the community events that go out on MEX TV on the computer downstairs, and we send them online over to this, essentially it's a computer server that aggregates those things and then plays them on time. So when you're sitting there watching TV and you see the public access channel, you see different slides of information coming up. It may be, say, the Red Cross dinner over on Tuesday night, and then it may be that somebody's doing a blood drive, and it may be public safety's prescription drug take back, and then it may be the kite flying program for the Parks Department, and then the city council agenda would come on, and so you have those pages that flip through. Well, when I started doing this before the 2003 cable franchise changeover, we had a big set of banks of videotape players that played video, and we were able to put the elementary school Christmas programs on, and we had various programs came in from the high school and things that we were able to put out there to the public over our cable access channel. When that was all changed out, the Key West, I can't remember the number of the unit, but the Key West server, playback server that we got, was supposed to be able to do everything that those old analog banks of tape players did. Well, it didn't. It never really worked quite right after that. And quite a few years ago, we lost the video component completely. It doesn't work whatsoever on this server. All that's working is just the pages and the crawl on there. So, and that works intermittently at this point. This piece of equipment would allow you to go back to, if you wanted to have us put city council meetings on MEX TV and broadcast them after, just like we put them on YouTube, we could do that. If the kids' Christmas program got sent up here by the elementary school, teachers, and they want us to put on MEX TV for families to be able to see afterwards, we could do that again. Currently, right now, we're not able to do that. So basically, it's a, if the council wants to keep supporting that program, you're going to have this piece of equipment. And if you don't, that's,
Yeah, I guess I've asked this question before. I don't know what viewership that has and what value does it have to the community. I don't know the answer to that, and I'm not criticizing it.
No.
I just simply don't know the answer to, are
Is-
we following down the road here of outdated technology?
As near as we can tell, trying to read in between the lines with the cable people, there's several thousand sets out there that still get this channel. Now, some of those are in Mexico, some of those are right around town. Some of those could be over towards Ladonia, for all I know. And it's really hard to get any kind of a definitive number out of them, Ron, because they consider those numbers to be proprietary, and they don't want to hand them out for competitive reasons. So we're kind of as much in the blind as you are on that in particular question, frankly. This channel was set up as part of our cable franchise when cable first came to Mexico, and we were granted a public access channel for the public to use. If somebody wanted to film, they've got a tree lighting ceremony coming up downtown in a few months. If somebody wanted to film that and put it on, theoretically, they'd be able to do that. Can you do that on YouTube? Yeah. Does it transmit directly to somebody's house, whether they want to see it or not? No. So, in the long and short, it's another communication channel for the city, and staff will follow whatever policy council wants us to hear. We don't have a dog in the fight, frankly.
Do we know what the trend is across Missouri with other communities? Can MML help us out with that, or? I hear something going on in Jeff City about them dropping it, or didn't have enough budget funds to support it anymore. Is that right?
I think what Jeff City did was really a kind of a different program, because they had actual programming that they did
Right.
and put on it.
Yeah.
A lot more than like a message board like
Right.
this is, or general. So they almost had like a staff that did productions type of stuff on it. So I think that's what they did.
Yeah, we're just putting on whatever.
Accomplish the same thing on Mexico's website and save $13,000. Really?
We can't accomplish all the same things without spending money on equipment to broadcast over the web. Some of this equipment you probably would need to do the same things over the web anyway. It wouldn't be the exact same unit, but Patrick, is it fair to say you need a substantial amount of the equipment?
Yes.
So. Because right now, if you do that over the web, you're going to be using the old server we currently have.
I'm like you, I don't watch it, so I don't know, but,
See, I
need it, I have no problem with it.
can't watch it because I don't get that particular charter. I don't have charter in my house.
I understand.
So, I used to watch it. I remember moving to Mexico, 18 years ago, and I enjoyed it because they had, some of the local people on there discussing issues at times,
The only real feedback loop we have as to whether people are still watching the channel or not is how much material we're getting in to put on. And we haven't seen any drop off in the amount of material that we have to put on. I can tell you that.
Okay.
I mean, we're getting just as many requests for pages as we did 5 years ago.
So apparently there's
Sounds
some
like a
people
good
out there
indicator.
using it.
Yeah, I mean, and it is frustrating because I called the cable guy, the government service guy directly, and I asked him, I said, how many sets am I serving here? And I couldn't get a number out of him.
Yeah.
So,
I wish there was some way to get that number so we could
I
put
agree.
some value on it.
Yeah.
I mean, feel like we're kind of shooting in the dark here and maybe may not need to spend these funds on this. But,
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
I kind of feel the same way, but at the same time, if people are watching it and we drop it, there's a valuable place that we can transmit information out to people. So we can do other things with the time that staff person saves if we don't do it anymore. But I don't know if they'll be as effective as this. I mean, I don't have any way of knowing because I don't know how many set tops we're going to.
is there any way we can use MML to get some information back on what other communities are doing with this, or are they just all over the map?
Well, the ones I've talked to when we worked on this at budget time, they're all over the place. Some people are still embracing it and going with it, and some people are dropping it. And it kind of depends on the makeup of the community, frankly.
I would like to delay this and have the other council members here when we vote on this. You guys got an issue with that?
No problem with
Could you
that.
bring it back at our
Yep.
next meeting when we
Can
have
do
all
that.
the full
No
council here?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll see in the meantime, we can find some more information.
Okay, that'd be good. Next, we have a staff report, purchase of a 1/2 ton pickup work truck for the Community Development Department Animal Control.
Rita Jackson.
The 2013-2014 budget allows $22,000 for the purchase of a full-size standard cab, 1/2 ton, 4x2 pickup truck for the Mexico Animal Shelter. This truck will replace a 2005, which has approximately 100,000 miles on it. An advertisement for bids was placed in the Mexico Ledger on October the 15th, 2013, and mailed to 11 local and surrounding area vendors. On October 30th, 2013, bids were received from 3 vendors, with Joe Mockins Ford submitting the lowest and best bid in the amount of $14,970 with trade-in. Staff recommends that council approve the purchase of the 2014 Ford F-150 regular cab 4x2 truck from Joe Mockins Ford of Columbia with a price of $14,970.
Good price. Hopefully, it's got all the stuff on it says it's supposed to have.
I think it does. We checked the bids and it did.
Thank you. I move we purchase the F-550 dump truck for the Public Works Department from Joe Mockins Ford.
You're a letter to.
Oh,
Paul.
I'm sorry. I turned my page
Yes,
over.
sir.
Purchase 1/2 ton pickup work truck for the Community Development Department for $14,970.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Fox.
Yes.
Next, we have a staff report, purchase of F-550 dump truck for the Public Works Department Street Division. Bruce?
And we'll turn to Kenzie Rose.
Would have been fine, just gone ahead and approved it.
Sorry.
This is for the purchase of a replacement dump truck. It's a Ford 550 size truck, 19,000 gross vehicle weight truck. This is similar size trucks to what we currently have and run. We use for snow plowing and for our general street maintenance. Bids, it was advertised, bids were sent to 11 vendors. We only had 2 responses. Joe Mockins Ford declined to bid, and Jim City Ford of Quincy, Illinois, provided us with a bid for a 2014 Ford F550 with the dump bed from Knapheide installed at a price of $55,097.30. They provided us $4,000 trade-in on the truck we would have available, so a net cost of $51,097.30. We had $62,000 budgeted for this, and we're recommending that the bid from Jim City Ford be accepted.
I move we accept the bid from Gem City Ford. $51,097.30.
Second.
Williams,
Yes.
Lush,
Yes.
Bott,
Yes.
Next, we have the claims.
Move to pay.
Second.
Williams,
Yes.
Lush,
Yes.
Bott,
Yes.
Next, we have council comments. Councilman Bott.
I don't believe I have anything this evening.
Councilman Williams.
I have a few. First, I'd like to congratulate the Arthur Center. I don't know if everybody knows that they won a federal grant, one of only 9 in the whole state. And they will be providing some medical services based on, and charging based on income, need. So that's a big deal. So they have to start within 120 days, and my understanding is at some point they're going to build a new building, and the land is out on 54 by us. More traffic, yes. So we got that. I'd like to make sure everybody knows that next weekend is the parade, the 23rd. Will be the Christmas parade, and we have Santa, and we have Ronald McDonald coming too. So, you know, I was raised in the big city, and so you don't get things happen very often in the big city that draw a community together. You see, I'm wearing a little Taylor heart. Little girl was hurt in our community. Unfortunate accident. She's in critical condition. And I've seen just the community come together. And even when I walked into City Hall tonight, there's a sign downstairs to wear pink on the 22nd, and our business is going to do the same. And that's the great thing about living in a small community, in my opinion, is people can come together and care. Because, I mean, I barely knew my neighbors, and I lived in the same house for like 5 years down in Atlanta. And you say hi, but I don't know anything about them. So I think it's great, and to see all the little stickers and the signs around town, it's a breath of fresh air. And that would be all I have.
Bruce.
Yes, a couple things, Your Honor. Terrace Circle, update on that. We did receive the materials to do the install of the inlet in the cul-de-sac, and that project will be moving forward in the next week. And residents along the street will be receiving a letter indicating what's going on there to notify them in advance before the project starts. Additionally, the latest version of the city newsletter will be, I laid a copy, this is hot off the press, and it will be mailed later this week to all the residents in the community. And that's all I have.
Okay. Next, we'll move to public comments. I think, did you want to make a comment this evening about your project or your street over on North Washington there?
My name is Don Kofer. I live at 600 North Washington. I'm sorry for not having the city council etiquette and not raising my hand. I do apologize.
That's all right.
I was just glad to hear from the neighbors that someone was up there and took pictures, the way I understand it. I just appreciate anything y'all can do, and whenever y'all have a proposition to show me, I'd just really love to see it, you know, and I'd like to be able to tell my neighbors something. You know.
Kenzie did complete his report. That has been sent to council, and you, we can certainly get you a copy of that. And really, the report is, it's just saying here what the options are. And we will schedule that for council discussion at the next work session. So at the next meeting, at the 6 o'clock meeting, work session, that will be on their agenda to discuss further.
Am I allowed to come to that?
Yes, you are.
Oh, yeah.
Cool, thanks.
Mhm.
Appreciate it, thank y'all.
You can bring some of the neighbors too, if you wish, so.
I
if
don't
they-
know if you want all of them. I don't, I just some kind of,
Okay, well, however it works best.
okay. I can think of one you really don't want.
Okay. Okay. Any other public comments? Seeing none, I move we adjourn.
Second.
Williams,
Yes.
Lush,
Yes.
Bus,
Yes.